I wouldn't have noticed really.
Oh, I said it's tough.
Well, my dad's not there, but the nails in the wall.
Yeah. I'm finding all kinds of weird stuff when I'm skimming around. All right, it is 9 o'clock and we are live on YouTube. Call this meeting of the Boyle County Fiscal Court, March 25th, 2025 at 9 a.m. together. Madam Clerk, has this meeting been advertised and do we have a quorum?
Yes.
All right, you all excuse me today, I'm a little under the weather, so I'm a little nasally, and I got all this stuff going on up in my head, so I apologize for that. I try to do the best I can today. Our invocation this morning will be from Magistrate Gay. If you will please do that.
All right, thank you. Let us pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and this opportunity to gather and give us the wisdom and courage as we make decisions affecting the citizens' lives in our county. Father, we ask that you be with families across the country that have been impacted by storms of the past couple of weeks. Be with them, give them strength, and help them look to you in their time of need. And Father, we ask that you be with our leaders in our country, our state, here in our county. Be with our troops that stand in harm's way around the country, and our first responders and all those that serve the citizens of our country and our county. And it's in your Son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, today we have a special guest with us, and that is Lydia Wheeler, and she is a 5th grader at Woodlawn. So Lydia, if you will come up. All right, and she is going to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated, and Lydia, I have a certificate for you, a certificate of recognition for leading the Pledge of Allegiance to the Boyle County Fiscal Court. And Miss Julie here will take our picture. And then will you introduce who you have with you today?
I have my dad, Brian here.
Brian Wheeler, all right. Yay. Well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Brian, for bringing you. Yeah.
Thank you.
You have a good day at school. Love to have the kids in here. That's awesome. All right, we have prior meeting minutes from the March 11th fiscal court meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Magistrate Gay, is there a second?
Second.
Magistrate Sleeper, any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries, minutes are approved. All right, we have some budget transfers. Ms. Shannon?
We have budget transfers in the amount of $63,270.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the budget transfers?
Make a motion.
Magistrate Sleeper, is there a second?
Second.
Magistrate Bodner, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. We have cash transfers.
I have $25,000 from the general fund to the road fund, $150 from the general fund to jail, and $200,000 from the general fund to EMS, and $625,000 from the general fund to our interest-bearing account at Community Trust.
Okay, do you want to, well, let me get a motion. A motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Magistrate Bodner, is there a second?
Second.
Magistrate Sleeper? Okay, do you want to tell about that last one, what we did?
We had a CD mature at Farmers in the amount of 500 and
Plus?
yeah, 530 something thousand, and we rolled it into the general fund, and then we're moving it to the community trust where it'll make better interest.
Better interest rate.
Yes.
So, yeah, just wanted you all to know about that.
All right, thank you.
All right, any other discussion on the cash transfers? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. All right, then we have bills. Ms. Elena?
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, your bill packet total is $168,244. we're going to add an Earth Day sponsorship on there that Angie sponsors every year. That is $500. So your grand total is going to be $168,744 even.
Move we approve the bills as presented.
Okay, I have a motion by Magistrate Gay, a second by Magistrate Sleeper. Any discussion? Oh, Harmon, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at it.
Second.
I got it now, Magistrate Harmon. All right, any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you.
Elena. All right, we have one item of old business, and that is the Ordinance 340.12 permit fees. Is Rusty with us today?
Point of order.
Yes, sir.
Wouldn't want to lose my reputation of being a stickler, but we should change that Jamie Gay gave our prayer this morning since Jason Cullen was out with an obligation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, Master Cullen is not with us today. He is in training this week, so. Did you see Rusty out there?
I didn't see it.
Okay, so we can go ahead and do this without him?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
What I did is I went back at the last meeting, I mentioned there might need to be an ordinance, and there was. So this is the first reading of ordinance 340.12, which amends 340.6, which amended 340.3, establishing the building inspector permits and fees. And so the only change is the fee schedule, which is attached. And so this would be the first reading.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve first reading?
So moved.
Magistrate Ellis, is there a second?
Second.
Magistrate Gay, any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay?
Nay.
Okay, motion carries, and second reading will be after next meeting, or the 2 weeks. Okay. All right, moving down to new business, we have some special guests with us today, and it's always nice to have champions amongst us. And so today, we have got 2 champions and their coach. Paul McClure is with us today. He is the 2025 Kentucky State Wrestling Champion for Boyle County High School in the men's division. And then we have Lila Smith, who is also the 2025 Kentucky State Wrestling Championship in the girls division. So if you two would stand. And then we have their coach with us, Seth, Coach Lucas. Okay, all right, if you will stand. We would like to recognize you all, and then Coach, I'm going to give you an opportunity to say some things about these champions and whatever you want to tell us about them.
I can tell you right now.
Okay, let's do
I
that.
got you, sorry.
Let's do
But
that.
no, they worked hard all season, off season, put in the time, put in the effort, and it doesn't go unnoticed by me or by you all. And this is the first time this ever happened, so hopefully we'll have more to come, like I said, and we can just continue to grow our program, grow wrestling in the community, and grow men and women, and just successful young men and women.
That's awesome. My son was a wrestler. He was coached by Coach Smith, who's here today. Yeah, so that's awesome. Now, do they have a certain weight class that they are in?
Lila wrestled 114 pounds, and she won her second state title.
Soaking wet?
She lost just a little bit, just barely. And then Paul is a heavyweight, 285 pounds.
All
And
right.
he won it, and this will be his second time placing that state for us as
Awesome.
well.
And Paul's dad is here with us as
Yes.
well, Patrick McClure. All right.
And his mom's in the back. As she shakes her head, no,
Lila's mom? Okay, where's Lila's mom? Okay, all right. Awesome, awesome.
And Lila's dad.
And Lila's dad. Okay, all right. All right, so Paul, if you'll come up here, we'll get a picture with you. And then we'll do them individually, and then we'll do a big group picture for everybody. All right, good deal. I feel like a shrimp.
I do too, Julie.
Yeah.
Let him put you in a headlock.
Just stand up here. All right, Lila. Paul, are you a senior? Where are you going to college?
We're gonna find out.
Oh.
We wanted to get through wrestling season.
I see, okay. All right, then
Priorities.
stand right here. And then Coach, one of you. You stand right over there, Lila. Okay.
I think
All right,
that's the first
Fiscal
coach
Court,
of the
if you
year.
all will join me, let's get yeah, I want you all to come get a picture of the champions. Phil, you want the picture? Sure, yeah, we'll get everybody, get in there.
And then we can walk through.
Surely I would note Elliot Porter is here too.
Oh, yeah, there's Elliot, right, awesome.
I don't believe this area has ever had a coaching year before, so
Right,
it's a big deal.
Congratulations, Cleveland Friday.
all right. I'm gonna get in here and have to stand on the short.
Yeah, this is a big group.
That's right.
Can you get everybody?
He's been
I
taking
think
you.
so, yeah. All right, Paula, you need to come just slightly. Can't see you. There you go. I think I got everybody. Okay, one more. Thank you. All right.
All right, congratulations.
Now, I would like to add one thing.
Oh, this is from Tom Ellis.
Don't y'all leave yet.
Congratulations. And Judge, may I make a pitch? Paul, you need to talk to Congressman Comer because the top wrestler in the NCAA is going to be graduating this year from the Air Force Academy. And he had a meeting with a fellow named, let's see, what was that guy's name? Oh yeah, Trump, just this past weekend. And it was really interesting because I think in jest, the president said, they don't make jets the size of you, so I can't get you special dispensation to be a pilot. And I'm afraid you wouldn't fit that jet. Congratulations.
I would like to say that I believe Lila is a two-time champion, is that correct? All right. It is great to have you all with us today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to let them come and to bring them and for them to be here with us so that we can recognize them with their awesome abilities as champions for the Boyle County School District. So thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you.
Anybody else want to say anything?
Just thank you.
Okay.
We'll be back next year.
Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, honey.
I don't think it will.
I know, having worked wrestling several times as an athletic trainer, I always just liked hanging out with the heavyweights. Because when you were on the road trips, you didn't want to hang out with anybody else because they were always mad and spitting.
They couldn't eat anything.
I know, they couldn't eat anything, so I wanted to hang with the heavyweights because they could actually eat on the road.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Patrick.
it.
Appreciate
Thank you.
that. Brian, would you care to get the door, please? Thank you. Or Jalen. Jalen Wofford, sorry. All right, next we have an appointment to the Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustments. And that, the person recommended is Pat Bennett, and Pat is with us today. So Pat, if you will stand, I will ask for a motion to approve the appointment of Pat Bennett. Master Bowder?
I make a motion.
Second. Master Sleeper? All right. Any discussion? He comes highly recommended.
I told him that he has to remain friends with me after he serves.
That's right, that's right, yeah. That's the caveat.
That's the caveat.
All right.
Yeah, I would just say planning and zoning is definitely one of our thankless jobs in this community. So
Yeah.
thank you for being willing
Yeah.
to serve in any role in planning and zoning.
Yeah, we do appreciate it very much.
Pat's very active in our Junction City Matters group. He comes in and has helped us with many things, and we really appreciate him.
Thank you very much.
And Pat is extraordinarily active at Centenary Church. So
He's also a thespian.
yes, he is.
I started once to wear my Coach pin.
Oh, you should have. You should have. All right. Any more comments? All right. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Pat, you have been appointed to the Board of Adjustments. Bless your heart. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate your work.
No problem.
All right, next we have Jailer Wofford with the jail budget. Welcome. And Chad.
So, as you know, we've presented our budget. It has to be approved per statute by April 1st. So we get to be first up on the list of budgets. I think that everybody got the budget that we had sent out, and I was just going to see if you had any questions on it. Anything
I'll say that Julie and I came out and we did a little workshop with you and the jailer and went through everything, and it's a very thorough budget, and I think it's a very lean budget, so I appreciate you cutting costs where you can cut costs.
Well, one thing is Shannon Greene, she has, she's
Yeah,
been a
and
godsend
Shannon went
us.
with us that day, sorry.
Shannon has, she and I have, we spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's been greatly, greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
And Judge, likewise, as the committee, Magistrate Boulder and I were briefed about 10 days ago, and I'll have a brief report at the end of the meeting.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, so there is a motion to approve the jail budget.
So moved.
Magistrate Ellis, is there a second? Magistrate Bodner, any discussion on the jail budget? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Budget is approved.
Thank you all.
And then you all also ask for numbers when we come. So today, Boyle, we have 55, State 66, Mercer 25, and I'm holding 2 for other counties. I think it's total 148. So that's, we're actually a little high. We've been running about 130.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it's a little higher today.
So,
Yeah.
I noticed on Facebook that whatever busted Boyle County or whatever, there's a lot of, so there's a lot of people getting arrested right now, so.
Well, that's Boyle County. I didn't know that was a thing, so.
Yeah,
I don't know who it is.
I don't know who's doing it, but they put them on there.
All righty then. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Y'all have a great day.
Chad, good job.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Katelyn Hayden, and she is with Fleet Enterprise, and she's going to share some information about the fleet. And you can introduce who you have with you, Katelyn.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for having us. I am Katelyn Hayden, or you can call me Kate. I go by Kate. I'm here with Enterprise Fleet Management today to talk to you about the potential of Enterprise and Boyle County partnering together to help out with all of your fleet needs. I've got my colleague here with me, Joe Yee. I'm going to let him introduce himself here in just a second. But a little bit about me, I'm an account executive with Enterprise, so I've been with the company for about 6 years now. My role as an account executive is to go out and find great partners for us, and then I help bring them on throughout the first year of the partnership and help implement them into the programs. Once you're fully implemented, I take a step back and hand you over to a client strategy manager. The client strategy managers are the true experts that ensure that all the programs and policies and everything that you and I decided on up front carry out throughout the duration of the partnership. So I've got Joe here with me. He is a client strategy manager for the city of Danville. And in the event that you guys decide to partner with us, he would be your client strategy manager as well.
Yes,
So I'll let Joe introduce himself.
All right.
Hello. Yes, thank you guys so much for allowing us to meet with you today to talk about our fleet management program. Again, my name is Joe Yee. I'm a client strategy manager with Enterprise Fleet. Been at Enterprise for 21 years, and I've had the pleasure of working with the city of Danville's fleet since the inception and start of the partnership in 2017. And ultimately, our goal, my goal is once Kate were to start the partnership and bring you on as a customer of ours, I would do just like we did with the city of Danville, look for ways to reduce your costs and make things easier on everyone's plate for the county, right? Look for ways, basically it's long-term fleet management. And in fact, I don't know, some of you may have seen the December city council meeting I presented to Danville. I encourage you to, it's on YouTube, and I encourage you to go see it, because we can stand up here all day and say how great we are, and we can do all this stuff, make all these promises, but where we bring our values, where we show truly the cost from the inception throughout the life cycle of the fleet. From the time we start with a vehicle, we buy it, we bring it on your lot, and you start using it until the time we sell it. So in the next slide, you can see what we've done, obviously, with a lot of our government clients here. Again, our goal is to establish a fleet partnership with a healthy fleet cycle, healthy life cycle for the fleet. I actually work with a lot of the cities, counties, health districts. I can go into them. I have about 20 of them. Again, City of Danville is one of my best cities that I work with. They're all different stages of the life cycle, right? Some of them are newer to our program. Some have been around for a long, long time. You can see Danville is actually the 5th longest tenured city of ours. But again, we have a big footprint. We know what we're doing with governments. We're very well versed, just like we've done with the city of Danville. And like,
Sorry, I was just going to say with this list, everybody up at the top would be the government agencies that partnered with us first, and then it's listed in order of their partnership. So like Bowling Green down at the bottom is our newest city. That's how you'll read the partnerships there.
and as I mentioned, some have been around a long time, some have been are newer. If you go to the next slide, you can see everything that we do when it comes to fleet management. Well, actually, this is ultimately our big picture, what we're trying to do. Just like we did with Danville, we're looking at the 3 major cost components of a vehicle. The depreciation, it loses value over time, as we all know. And then maintenance costs start going up, and then fuel degradation starts going up. So our goal is to pinpoint for each specific vehicle type, where is that line in the sand, where's that dot on the map, where we can keep the lowest cost of ownership. It's going to be different for an F-150 or a dump truck or a crane truck, sheriff's vehicle. It's going to be different, but this is what we do each year, financial analysis, to figure out that exact time. And in fact, with Danville, one of the most exciting things we did was we ordered about 20 F-150s early on in the partnership, and then we looked at the market and determined about halfway through the leases we could actually sell the F-150s for more than we bought them for. So we did that, and we were actually able to reduce costs overall and get more equity back. It's a really awesome story. In today's world, we may not be able to do that as much just because of vehicle costs, but at the time, we analyzed the market and we moved and we were able to save a lot of money for the city there. So again, like mentioned, the people that we work with, our city agencies and government, they're all different lifestyle or different walks of life right now with the fleet. And you can see we customize everything. You see this is what we call the wheel of fleet management. It's going to be customized for your county. We're not going to come in here and say, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this program. We want to work and meet your goals as a county, and we can facilitate that with this wheel. So it starts with acquisition. We go direct to the manufacturer when we get our vehicles for you. Similar to state contract pricing, we just go to Ford, for example, and get the government pricing the bid. It's going to be very similar to state contract pricing. We order it to avoid dealer markups or any sort of premiums that you can avoid, just like we do with the City of Danville. And then financing, credit lines, Kate's going to go into that, but we are your bank, so we can fund everything when it comes to your vehicles. License, titling, registrations from the start. We customize your aftermarket. So whether it's a sheriff vehicle or a dump bed or just simply graphics, we handle it all for you before we bring you the vehicle ready to go, throw you the keys, your driver can hop right in it and get to work. Maintenance programs, fuel programs, we can go into great detail, but for sake of time, all the way to vehicle resale, which is where we really set ourselves apart. Just like that example with Danville with the F-150s, we're not a dealership. We don't take your trade in and then go make money off your vehicle. We're going to take your vehicle and we're going to sell it for as much as we can to return as much equity back to the county. Okay? So with that, we can talk about more of the finance and credit lines and how that works.
Thank you. So now that you kind of understand the philosophy behind what we do and how we try to help you implement and help you replacement cycle of your vehicles, we start asking the question, how can we finance a plan like this? Of course, you would be buying more vehicles in a year than the county is typically used to. And so we offer different types of creative financing to you. Now, at the end of the day, we don't care how you pay for your vehicles. You can pay for them in cash through us if you want. You can finance them down to a zero balance. Or you can take advantage of our open-ended equity lease. So this open-ended equity lease is what I'm going to walk you through. This is what most of our government clients choose to do. This is a great cash tool for you to be able to purchase more vehicles with, of course, less cash flow. So let's say that we buy a vehicle for $50,000. We would set it up to lease it down to a residual balance of $10,000. So right off the bat there, we would be decreasing your principal down to $40,000 that you'd be making monthly payments on. So that would help you decrease your monthly payments a little bit. Then in 5 years, let's say that we turn around and we sell that vehicle for $18,000. You do have to satisfy the $10,000 residual balance, but that extra $8,000 of equity gain, that belongs to you, the county. So you get to decide if you want us to cut you a check and send it back to the county, or if you want to take that $8,000 and roll it over to your next vehicle purchase, which is what most of our governments do. That way you're putting an $8,000 like cash payment down on the next vehicle. So now it's $42,000 vehicle. You're paying it down to a $10,000 residual balance again. Now your principal's just $32,000 that we're financing. And so as we continue to do that every 5 years throughout the replacement, you can see how that keeps helping you get a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower on your monthly payments.
And that's what Danville did when they got their F-150s. They took the money they got back and moved it into the new trucks. So they got brand new trucks with much less of a monthly payment.
Yeah. So now a few things I want to point out about the open-ended equity lease. It's a lot different than the typical closed-ended lease that you hear of from like dealerships and things like that. So this is open-ended, meaning that you have the risk or the reward of resale. So you're not going to get penalty fees for wear and tear, you're not going to get mileage fees or anything like that. At the end of the 5-year term, if the vehicle comes back higher mileage or it comes back damaged, it just sells for less than we thought it would sell for. And so since you're the one that gets the resale, you're not penalized in any kind of way. Your client strategy manager, Joe, would be keeping up with your odometer readings throughout the life cycles of the vehicle. That way he can ensure that we know a good estimate of what the mileage is going to be, because that's the biggest indicator of what it sells for in the market. So we'll constantly be watching that to make sure that whenever 5 years comes due, that your vehicle sells more for what the residual balance was. In the event that that didn't happen, you would still have to satisfy the residual balance, but again, that's something that Joe watches very consistently to ensure that we're always in a positive, equitable position when it comes time.
I've been doing this quite a long time with a lot of government clients. I've never had that situation happen. Again, because we're meeting multiple times per year, we're looking at the values, we're strategizing the best way to do it. Even if it were a situation where we were negative equity, I would obviously recommend to probably extend the lease out at no extra penalties. But yeah, so I just wanted to point that out, that there's ways to make sure that never happens.
So with that, I do want to just stop here really quick and see if there are any questions about the leasing structure. Yes, Jamie?
Not necessarily about the structure, but I guess just one of the philosophical questions is, you all have a recommendation as far as with the vehicles, as far as a home fleet versus a not home fleet type of program, especially for your law enforcement?
You mean the vehicles that are being like driven, like
Are they taken
that people
home?
are taking home?
Are they taken home, or are they?
Yeah.
You all recommend one way or the other as far as that is concerned?
I don't. Do you have a recommendation?
So it's whatever the county decides. I have customers that do both. Some use it as a perk, some as a need, just depending on the territory and where they're going. And so yes, we can talk about like a fleet program or like a take-home program, but yes, there's a mix of both.
Because we certainly can take home, and I personally like that, but I know it adds to the wear and tear and mileage on the vehicles if they're taken home every night versus not.
Sure.
There's benefits to doing that, though. Again, to the employee retention.
Visibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and logistically speaking, it may make sense. I mean, you do have parking. They park all the vehicles overnight. A lot of customers, even government or not, do that where they can take it home for many different benefits.
And if you are in the process of looking at writing like a company car policy or something like that, that is something that as your fleet management company, we can help you write as well. That's something we do.
Magistrate Ellis has a question.
Help me overcome very significant reservations. We
Okay.
have 2 major automobile dealers
Okay.
here in this community, one of which was visited by my father-in-law for probably 40 years out of Louisville. He would come here and purchase his vehicle because of the extraordinary service and pricing that he was able to get. I can only assume that 100% of their opportunities to participate would evaporate if we go with you.
So that is a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. So the way that it works is whenever we do acquire vehicles, we do want to order directly through the manufacturers. That's the best pricing point. And then we're also able to to specifically order your vehicles exactly how you need it without any extra features and things like that for you to pay for that you may not need. However, we do still give business to the local dealers, and so if there are certain ones that you want to keep in mind, once those vehicles are done at the manufacturers, they have to be delivered to a dealership to get an inspection done. The dealerships do get paid for those inspections that they do before we're able to release them to a customer, and they're road ready. So we can still have vehicles delivered from the manufacturer to your dealerships, and then they can still get revenue in from doing the inspections on the vehicles and getting them like
Inspections meaning
unwrapped.
service?
Yes.
Routine service?
Well, like getting them unwrapped and doing all the basic inspections of like safety inspections and stuff that they have to do before it goes out on the road.
Where's routine service done?
Routine service, so if you do our maintenance program, you can go to any of our vendors. All of your dealerships should be on our vendor list, but I would definitely be happy to double check that.
So you negotiate that with our major dealers?
Yes, so like we have vendors set up, of course, all over for our rental car company. Most dealerships are set up on that program as well. So if you wanted to take your vehicles to dealerships to get them maintenance, you could, yes. And provide them with service, or business that way.
Yeah, that leads to another question, which we have, and we call it our fleet management now, but that's basically our mechanic operation, that we have our own in-house mechanic operation now, which has been a big cost savings to the county. And how would that person integrate with the servicing of the vehicles internally?
Yeah.
If you don't mind real quick. Yeah, I just wanted to address real quick. Our goal is not to take away from the local community businesses at all. Kate mentioned the pre-delivery inspection with all of our customers. We deliver to the your local dealership, and then again, the pre-delivery inspection, the courtesy delivery fee that the dealer charges, we do pay them for that. And then also, again, all the services. But at the end of the day, if that is very, very important to you to acquire vehicles through that dealership specifically, you know, we can work with that. It's not a done deal because of that. But typically, most of our customers go direct to manufacturer because, again, of the cost savings. But again, we're not trying to cut out anyone here. We can work with it.
Back to Magistrate Gay's question there. Our guy does not have a great big maple tree with a huge limb on it and a chain to take out an engine. He does the work. How would that work in terms of both your relationship and factory warranty if he's changing a transmission, changing an engine out, changing significant parts?
Great question. And we have a lot of our government accounts do what's called an in-house shop through us. Basically what it is we give them access to a website. It's called Auto Integrate, just like Valvoline or all these dealerships have, where they go enter any fleet vehicle. We would give that to whoever the person's doing the repairs. They can enter the repair order and they can put an associated cost. There's no money exchanges, but if it's an oil change or tire rotation and you determine it's a $50 charge, you enter $50, so that all gets uploaded to the website. Whatever, yeah, that might be a little low. But when it comes to warranty and stuff like that, then you want to take it to the dealership. You don't want your in-house person doing, because it may void the warranty. So we can work with both.
But he can do that.
He can do the minor repairs and stuff that non-warranty related. Absolutely, he can do that. But I would encourage to anything if it's still under warranty to go to a dealership.
And we do that now. If it's under warranty.
Not everything. I mean, he is.
If it's under warranty.
If it's a warranty issue.
Yeah. If it's under warranty, it goes to the dealership.
Yeah. The tires, I mean, absolutely. You know, we want to work with you. We don't want to change the world. We have the systems in place to be able to do that and keep how things going as normal.
I'm chair of our public works, so we've got big equipment.
Sure.
Is there anything you do not work with us on?
Wow, we've really expanded to the point where we will do everything but semi-trucks. You're talking crane. Georgetown, we did some big boom crane trucks. I don't even know really exactly all it does, but it's crazy big. But yes,
intermediate pieces like a backhoe.
If it's got a title and it's got a title, or we license it, then absolutely we can do it. If it's got a title, in fact, I just did one for, I did a golf cart for Four Roses recently. I know that it's not, we don't put it on the road, but that's an example of one. ATVs for sheriff or police departments, we do that as well. We joke around because we're enterprise fleet management, but we're turning more towards enterprise asset management because, again, if it's got a VIN number and a title, then we can finance it and probably sell it.
I think we discussed in a previous meeting with you, that the bigger equipment, we may want to exclude because it doesn't require that frequent rollover like
Correct.
sheriff's vehicles or,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
So we would probably exclude those bigger pieces, just for
But
that.
I like the fact that that option's out there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It
yeah.
is, absolutely. You can add on that equipment as we go in the relationship if that's something that you want to do. But it is not our bread and butter. It's not where you're going to see the cost savings. The bread and butter would be your light duty vehicles because that's where we really shine on the resale of those.
350s?
Mm-hmm, yep, yeah,
Everything.
350s, yeah.
Any manufacturer. Again, what's nice about it is we fund it all. So whether you do all the equipment you talked about or a regular vehicle, you know, if you want to not take away from your credit line through the county, and you want to fund things through us, we can do it with relatively low underwriting. So it can be very easy to be able to acquire assets and vehicles. Again, I recommend, back to when I said it's customizable, I recommend starting with the core fleet. And then once you see how great we are and how much, you know, just like the city and everything like that, you may say, hey, we want you to start buying equipment for us or whatever it might be. So we want to customize it for you guys to meet your goals.
Walk us through if our sheriff car, for example, gets totaled, like what's the process and how that affects us?
Absolutely. I mean, it happens, unfortunately, a lot. Obviously, we don't have time if you have a vehicle wrecked. You don't have time to go to 6 months for a factory. So we can go direct to dealers. In that situation, we would reach out to, you know, our state contract dealers across the state and see what they have available. And then from there, we would acquire it for you on your behalf. It may not be as cheap, per se, as a you know, direct factory, but we can absolutely do it. And then whatever settlement you get back from the insurance, say it's 10 grand or 20 grand or whatever it might be, then we can put it in there. We can work with whichever upfitter, sheriff, police, upfitter type style. We can work with them. A lot of popular ones are L&W here. We can work with whoever. We can make recommendations for the best service as well, best pricing. But yes, we can do it. It may take a little bit of time, of course, to get it upfit, but depending on the upfit and if they got parts in stock like that, so we can make it pretty quick.
What's the normal downtime on that?
A wrecked vehicle? Well, once you determine it's wrecked and you say, hey, Joe, go find us a police interceptor, or whatever it might be, depending on availability, you know, I would say once we find one and you work through the dealership and all the paperwork, I would say probably 2 weeks max to the time we get it, and then move it to. Now the upfitter is going to be the key because do they have the parts?
Right.
Can we reuse the parts of the wrecked vehicle, or was it wrecked? So there's a lot of components there, but we will work as quickly as we can. We're not Enterprise Police Upfit or Sheriff Upfitters, but we can facilitate that and make sure that we get it through as quick as we can.
Just curious.
Same, just like a F-150 or whatever vehicle, we can do all that.
Jim, I have a question. How, when you resell the vehicles at the end of the 5 years,
yes,
how quickly do those turn? How can we ensure that we're getting the best purchase price?
Sure.
Who operates in our best interest?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a resale team that's based out of St. Louis. They sell about probably 2 million vehicles a year for Enterprise as a whole, between our rental car company and then all of our fleet management partners. And so they sell directly back to dealerships. They sell your pre-owned vehicles as wholesale back to dealers all across the United States. And so that's how we're able to make sure that we're getting the best value. Typically, we're achieving about 110% of fair market value on our vehicles just on a base average. But I think all of our governments have seen a huge increase in their resale equity since partnering with us, since they don't have to go to auction with gut deals. So now, I was just going to say, if it is like a very older vehicle with little value in it, in those types of situations, we'll either take it to auction or we'll tell you, I think that you should take this to auction so that you don't have to pay fees through us. But yeah.
And that only happens on the first initial.
Right,
guiding.
typically,
Right.
That typically just happens whenever we're getting the healthy fleet implemented,
What happens is you have a vehicle ready for sale, you say, hey, come pick this up. If you own it, then we have to do some title work back and forth. If it's a lease vehicle, like Danville's, almost all their fleet is leased, so it's very easy and quick. But I would say once we get the title situated, we go pick up the vehicle, depending on where it goes and probably 2 to 3 weeks before the sale actually happens. Because again, we're marketing your vehicles, we're trying to take it wherever we get the most for it. Okay, and then so once that happens, we get the bill of sale, then the funds come back to us, that's where we cut the check back to you guys, or you put it towards the new vehicle. So it's pretty quick.
Any more questions on that? Yes.
How difficult are you all finding it to find vehicles from the manufacturers initially? Like say you're gonna go buy 10 police interceptors that we need. Because I know that we're having some difficulty some places finding vehicles. So how quickly do you all find them in a total for the department when we get started?
You're talking like a factory order type of thing. So the great thing about right now is the fleet industry has recovered for the most part. If you asked me 2 years ago, I'd say, well, you know, we could order them, but they might get canceled. But right now, they're coming, and they're coming relatively quick. In fact, Chris Matano and Chief Gray, their utility interceptors came a little too quick this time, where they said, we can't get them till July 1st. And I'm like, well, Lance has them. They're going to take some time to upfit. So they are coming faster. Utility interceptors are, I could say with confidence, we could get you those now. Tahoes are the ones that were most popular, that have been the biggest constraint throughout the last, really since COVID. They call what they say allocation, meaning at the beginning of the model year, the 2026 model year is going to happen, and we meet and you say, we want 10 Tahoes, then I'm going to go to GM and I'm going to ask for 20. Okay, and hope that they get it. And because they allocate it not for enterprise, not, hey, enterprise, you get this amount. They look at your city or your county fleet profile or your fleet number, and then they say, okay, based off XYZ, we're going to allocate them 5 vehicles, 10 Tahoes, which is what happened. Actually, I got 2 for fire, 2 Tahoes allocated for Danville Fire that are on order right now. So way better now in today's market. I think really, I mean, they did away with the Charger, so there's not too many pursuit rated options out there. But yes, we can get utility interceptors all day long.
Good. Elaine's excellent question really triggered something in my mind, especially when you confirmed that unfortunately officer vehicles do get wrecked. The gentleman sitting straight across from me stood where you're standing a couple of years ago. And because of the extreme difficulty of getting ambulances, we said, leave and go make a phone call, because he had one that we approved, and that very minute we made sure that he could go out of the room. Do you work much with ambulance vehicles? Because they sadly wreck too.
It's funny you say that, because ambulances have been the harder thing to get approved, because the liability risk is huge. So you're talking insurance. While the process may be long,
liability risk compared to the sheriff's office.
Well, I don't know what exactly it is. I'm sure it's with transporting medical personnel. Anyways, but long story short, we have gotten approval to do ambulances. We're newer to it. It will take some time to go through all the insurance and the everything related. But yes, we can do ambulances.
Well, they're
and fund them.
extremely difficult to get.
Well, what we would do is we would order these situations. We would look way in advance, right?
What we do now.
Right, and so plan that. But again, we can fund those just like we do lease. We can do for those. I think we can even do spread the payments over a 6-year period to help reduce the cash outlay, which is one of the biggest reasons why, honestly, the sheriff and police departments, they found the most value in this vehicle, or in our program, even more so than public works or road departments or anything like that, because you can get so many vehicles for such little cash outlay. Because most of them pay cash. They pay 70 or 80 grand a pop for each one of these vehicles, where you can get 10 vehicles for 70 or 80 grand throughout the lease term, and we budgeted it out.
What's your interest rate usually run?
We do the 3-year T-bill plus 300 basis points approximately. So I think right now last time I checked, it was 6.99, which is the lowest it's been since October.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very competitive with our interest rate.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Are you going to touch on our anticipated savings?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's the next thing we're going to dive into.
We got going here.
Yes,
Sorry.
the best part for last.
Okay.
Good
All
conversation.
right, reports, you can get reports on like our whole fleet.
Yes, yeah, great question. So we do have a client website where your employees would be able to go in and access all your vehicles in one portal. So we'll be able to see all the vehicles. If we have them on some type of maintenance program of some kind, they'll be able to see the maintenance expense on them. They'll be able to see when the next interval is due. And then if we have them on any kind of fueling program, they would be able to see the fuel expense as well for the year and all of that associated in one place. Yeah, and then that computer system, you can definitely pull out reports if you want to, but it also can send alerts to your drivers for their next oil change due and things like that automatically without anybody having to keep up with that.
Magistrate Ellis?
You have moved me, but Judge, I would like to make a motion that we defer any action for at least 2 weeks. This is extraordinarily complex. It's a decision that impacts, to a degree, our local dealers. And I'd like to personally do some research, and I think the rest of us ought to do some research over the next couple of weeks, rather than making a decision today. So my motion is to defer action.
I don't think we were going to make a decision today. We were
Good.
just listening to the presentation, and then we'll get together and have a special meeting amongst ourselves. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I will be here at the end of the meeting to answer any additional
I'll
questions.
withdraw my motion.
Okay.
I'll be here too to answer any questions at the end of the meeting as well if there's more. Joe may be able to stay as well depending on how long the meeting goes. And then of course we would be happy to connect you with any cities or counties that you want to talk to and let you know kind of who organized the fleet program and everything too for you to reach out to some different clients.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay, great. So with all that said, now that you understand kind of what we do, how we finance it, we're going to look at what we call a 10-year model. So this is a snapshot of what it would look like throughout a 10-year partnership with us if we were to take all your vehicles and put them on a 5-year replacement rotation. The very top line up there in yellow, that's your budget of what you're currently doing right now, your purchase budget, estimated resale, maintenance and fuel, all of that's coming out to about $584,000 that you're spending right now today on the fleet. And then you can see each year what our recommendations would be as to what vehicles we replace. So starting off with 14, 8, 10, 5 throughout the years. And then over in the far right, you can see where your budget would come in at each year if we were to set those all up on open-ended leases. Now, throughout a 10-year period, we're anticipating a savings of over $900,000 for the county if you were to take your fleet that's currently on an 8-year replacement and move it over to a 5-year replacement cycle with us. So with that, I'm going to stop there. I'm just kind of giving a brief overview for just the sake of time and everything. But if you do want me to run it line by line, I'm happy to do that as well.
I will tell you all, we have over 60 vehicles we think that would be in the fleet program. So when she's got 50 here, just keep in mind that was kind of an estimate when we started down this path, and I think we've sort of honed into about 60 vehicles, so yeah.
Is that all of our vehicles? How many?
Well, the jail has a couple that they were canteen vehicles,
Right.
so they have to stay separate. They have a van that, it's an old van, but there's no need to replace that.
Right.
We did not put any heavy equipment vehicles in there. These are just strictly.
No ambulances.
Yeah, no dump trucks or anything like that.
Yeah.
So this is trucks and road vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, I've been encouraged by this possibility, more discussion to be had, but I do, and I'm also encouraged by the fact that anything that has a title and that we can possibly grow into over time as well, because I think there is some real benefit to this approach.
Any questions on this here? Okay. All right. And again, I will be around to answer any questions that you might have after the meeting. But with everything here that we have today, I do hope we've showed you enough to give you a pretty good idea of what we would be able to do as a partner of the County of Boyle. If you check with any of our clients on that list, especially the City of Danville, they do love us. We have been able to go in and implement healthier replacement cycles for over 60 different government agencies across Kentucky. So we can definitely help you with that as well. We can help you increase your resale values. We can help you decrease your maintenance and fuel expense. And most importantly, we can definitely help you get a newer, safer fleet of vehicles with better safety features. So
Yeah, reach out to Earl Coffey, Mayor Atkins, Chief Gray. Again, they don't even know I'm here. They may know we're having a meeting just from talk, but feel free to ask them. They'll tell you.
Okay,
All
great.
right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
you all coming and sharing with us. You are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting and be entertained, or you can, if you have something else to do, you can do that.
all right.
Loosely using the term entertain.
Entertained, that's right, that's right. All right, next up, Recycling Director Angie Muncy with a recycling grant. Come on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, I've got this done. Katina pushed me.
Hey, Katina.
Yeah, she just couldn't wait no longer. Before you is the recycling grant that is due April 1st. This is what we have used for my last years of putting everything in the recycling center, and hopefully we can add some more since we're getting a bigger space. If you notice, I have, I'm going to try to put glass recycling in place, and I am going to try to actually do it'll end up being regional if we can do it, the styrofoam in place. So this machine here there's 2 other foam recyclers in the state that does it, but they do what the company is called foam recycling. It takes 2 people and all this, and I really was not a fan of that program, but I do like this machine. This machine is 1 person can feed it. It comes out in blocks, it cuts, you know, and it can be used for other things. The glass pulverizer, I picked up the pulverizer because it can be pulverized down into sand, in which a lot of people can use that sand as in their soil. They can use it in blacktop. They can, you know, just use it in different things. So, and then everything else, you know, and that to the baler, the sort
What's
line.
the total
things
of the
like
grant?
that. The total of the grant with, of course, everything is in kind. There is no, our match is all in kind.
Okay.
So with everything included, in kind and all, the grand total is $734,804. I'm going big or go home this year.
That's right.
I'll make a motion we approve the recycling grant.
All right, have a motion by Magistrate Gates, or second?
Second.
Second by Magistrate Boner.
Application, that is, yeah.
Grant application.
Yeah, let's just hope.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion is approved to apply for recycling grant.
Thank you.
You want to give us an update on what's going on out at Recycling Center?
Well,
The fire?
hopefully today or tomorrow they will be finished and get out of our way.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
But it's, the company itself is great. Truly, thank you for being there for us and
Yeah.
checking on us and all that other good stuff.
Yeah.
The building looks great. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah.
So far, I have to bring back municipal equipment to check one of my pieces of equipment.
Okay.
I don't know if it's smoke damage or just wear and tear, but they're gonna come back today.
Okay.
Offices our end's basically done. I don't know how far they got with Mike last night, but ceiling tiles, painting, Geneva's office is getting more or less finished today, I believe, with the drywall.
Okay.
The
So
fire
Sir Crowley's
is
been out there since the fire, just to,
Yeah,
you
since
know,
that evening.
catch you all up.
Don't really know the exact cause. I did call the fire marshal, detectives, arson investigator, and everything. So all that's being checked out. You know, we think it started through cardboard, but you know, don't know if something was in it or, you know, anything like that. So we're just gonna have to wait. KSP's about 8 months behind, so.
Yeah.
When do you think you'll be back open to the public?
Yeah.
We are.
You are too?
We're letting them more or less drop off. We're trying to play catch up big time right now because our businesses are really, really backed up, and but they're more than welcome to come drop off at this point.
So they can come back
They
down.
can come drop off. So.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your patience. I know it's been an ordeal out there with all the people trying to get it cleaned up and redone.
Everybody is out of sorts,
Yeah,
you know,
thank-
and
thank
I
you
hear
for your
about it, but,
patience. Yeah.
I apologize to all my departments out there, you know, they've been put through it, but
Well,
we've all survived. and
yeah, yeah, and it needed to be done, so.
I have to say, you know, it's cleaner and nicer than
Than it's ever been.
They've done a nice job,
Yeah.
and if I ever have a fire, I know who I'm gonna hire,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly.
That's exactly right.
And thankfully, nobody was hurt.
Yes,
No,
thankfully,
nobody was hurt.
Yeah.
They had to come give me EMS give me a breathing treatment, but that's because I thought, you know, I could do something else to help somebody else, but you know how that goes. But other than that, that's.
Thank you. Thank you for your quick action. Appreciate that. Okay, next up is EMS Director Mike Rogers with 2 items of business. Lathe.
So. Thank you, Judge, and Fiscal Court. We have 2 items on the list today to purchase. The first is the 2-post lift for fleet management. And Tommy. There's 3 quotes. The first quote is from Smith's Garage, which is $22,710.97. The second quote is from Mohawk Lift, which is $22,972.23. And then the last one is the Dealer Solutions at $23,376.23. So they're all pretty close, but we're recommending just to go with the cheapest one with the Smith Garage.
How much was it?
$22,710.97.
And this is a budgeted
That was just looking,
item.
yeah.
And and so I move we approve the low bid of, was it Smith?
Mhm.
Smith Garage.
Right. $22,710.97. Okay, I have a motion to approve the bid from Smith Garage. Is there a second?
Second.
Measure Sleeper. Any discussion?
So this is the one that Tommy would recommend?
Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Smith Garage it is.
There is a lead time on delivery, several months, so we expect it will be installed in the new building on the North Stewart side.
Okay. All right.
The next item is a brake lathe, and what that's for is really handy for the sheriff's office where they keep the brakes up. It's able to straighten out that rotor, just grind down the rotor, and you can reuse them until you get to a minimum depth, and then you'd have to replace it at that point. But it's going to save a tremendous amount, especially on the new Durangos. The rotors are pretty expensive on those. So again, there's 3 quotes, similar dealers there. The Smith Garage was at $17,948.37. Ben Tire Distributors was $18,072.81, and then the Dealer Solutions was $18,245.49.
This is also a budget item.
Yeah.
And I'll make that motion as well, and this is gonna be a nice tool to help save money.
Yes, in the future. Okay, a motion by Magistrate Gates, or a second?
Second.
Magistrate Sleeper. Any discussion on the brake lathe?
We're just going to go with the Ben Tire Distributor.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Ben Tire Distributor?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so motion on the floor is to approve the proposal from Ben Tire Distributors for a brake lathe. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Well, one other thing I wanted to add with the fleet management discussion we were having is a lot of times we don't buy our vehicles local anyway. We get them through state contract price, which is always through Don Franklin or Bachman in Louisville or Freedom in Lexington. So now when all the time with EMS, the times that we bought maybe a used vehicle, like for the grant, we always went local with it, so.
Just sticking up for you.
Thank you very much.
I just, it's just,
No, it's true.
I'm just telling the truth, I didn't wanna sway you either way, I just tried.
Yeah, yeah, thank you, Director Rogers. All right, Treasurer Greene, monthly resettlement.
I'll just stand here.
I put the monthly settlement for February in your packet.
Okay, any discussion? Court
Thank you.
acknowledges.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
Okay, anything we need to know? Everything
Everything's
good? All right. Thank you very much. Okay, this time we are going to go into executive session for two different items of business. One is pursuant to KRS 61810, paragraph 1, paragraph B, deliberations on the future acquisition of sale of real property by a public agency, but only when publicity would likely affect the value of a specific piece of property to be acquired for public use or sold by a public agency. Also, KRS 61810, paragraph 1, paragraph C, discussions of proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of the public agency. Like a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Mr. Ellis, is your second?
Second.
Mr. Gay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. I would like to ask
sign that letter and send it back, or does the
Yeah, you
judge
know.
sign it?
There's a spot. It's like
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Thanks for that number, I'll call you. Yeah,
All right, need a motion to return to a regular session.
So moved.
Magistrate Gay, second by Magistrate Harmon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. In reference to executive session, KRS 61.810. Have a motion for no action taken?
I think you just say.
No
Just no action taken? Okay, and then for KRS 61.810, no action taken as well. Are there any motions coming from executive session? Okay.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to grant Judge Bottom the authority to negotiate a lease option for a temporary relocation for all proceedings and activities conducted in the Boyle County Courthouse.
Second.
Have a motion by Magistrate Ellis, a second by Magistrate Gay. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. All right, we will now go into magistrate reports and comments, and Magistrate Gay, we'll start with you today.
I'm all good.
You're all good.
All good.
And what's good for the city is good for the county.
That's right, we all live in the county.
All right, Magistrate Sleeper.
All righty, just a couple things. Economic Development Authority met on March 17th, and we looked at the bylaws that were been modified and approved. EDA chair was reelected per the bylaws, reappointed. Properties that we have acquired were reviewed. The right-of-way for the Norfolk Southern site was discussed, and the EDA is requesting that the fiscal court determine the means by which it will provide for that right-of-way. And then the road construction plan for the Norfolk site was discussed, and the need to move forward on developing a master plan for the Percival Road Industrial Park quadrant was discussed. And then that was it for the EDA. And then also our Animal Care and Control Committee met on March 17th as well. And I have reports for that to submit. We reviewed February statistics report for the shelter, and they're basically very similar to January. There doesn't seem to be any significant trend or changes from those 2 months, so we'll just keep an eye on how things go. They purchased some new items. They got 2 new traps, which are used for injured animals, bite cases, and wildlife. They purchased some bear spray, not because there's bears in Boyle County, but because they work on dogs too.
They could be.
Vicious dogs, yeah. Got a new net because the previous one had been patched beyond repair, and then the new dog tags have been ordered. There is a rabies clinic being planned for the end of May or the 1st of June, and the exact date will be determined in coordination with the Boyle County Health Department. And there will be no cost to the county except for the cost of the AC staff person that day, so that's good. Dog food and such is within budget, and Rhiannon is providing excellent management of the health of the shelter's animals, as reported. The barn cat program is continuing to be developed along with feral cat policy, and our animal ordinance was recognized by the Horse Council as one of the best in the state, and our animal control department is helping update the livestock investigation training that the council puts on every year.
Great.
So that's really great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the animal care and control policies are being reviewed by the animal control department with the goal of making recommendations to us to tighten up the policies. That's it.
And it's your motion to
I
approve?
make a motion to accept this report.
Okay. Motion by Magistrate Sleeper, second by Magistrate Harmon.
Sign that as it goes by.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carried. That's all?
That's all.
All right. Magistrate Ellis.
Thank you, Judge. It's with great pleasure, being a member of Centenary Church, that I would honor the judge, Bill Nichols, the author of the play, also a thespian in the play, a wonderful 3-night event at our church this past week. where it was a fundraiser for several different entities that our church supports. So I'd like to begin by thanking you all for that great presentation, which involved a lot of people even out in the community, not directly involved in our church. Secondly, I'm getting several inquiries about the huge steel poles going out Perryville Road, replacing the wooden poles. And by the way, I'll go back and public out there. There are two of our wonderful thespians from the play. So thank you, Mr. Nichols, and we ought to have your picture up there as well.
There we go. I'm good.
I have learned that there's a junction box or site on Parksville Cross Pike, because many people were wondering if those steel poles were going to go all the way to Perryville or even all the way to the county line. But I'm now told that they will be going to that station where the electricity is emanating from on Parksville Cross Pike. The coroner legislation, at least at this point, that was going to be one more unfunded mandate apparently was stopped in the House. It did pass the Senate, so that's the status now, and to my knowledge from years of being in Frankfort, it can now only come up during the regular session next year, if at all. I have seen and experienced open burning recently all over the county. I've gotten one complaint, it's not in my district, where people are burning plastics and other items that are absolutely against state and federal law. I think all of us should be obligated, and I've done this 2 or 3 times in 6 years, where I've called the fire department and I've said, going east 2 miles north of Perryville Road, I'm looking at a huge plume of smoke, and they will go out and check it out. And folks, we've got a lot of people who are making themselves eligible for a $500 fine. And particularly with the burning at the West Coast and now the burning at the East Coast, and we might think it's dry 2 days after the last rain, but permits are absolutely required, and I think we have an obligation to make sure and call in fires when we see them. And if the reply from Captain Sexton or anybody else is, well, we've got the record that they called it in. Thank you. Thank you very much. We just wanted to, but especially when there's burning of illegal items, so please. This next one is a bit sensitive, and Counselor, I'm going to need your help on this. We all hopefully have friends. You know, when we're elected officials, they say 50% of the people are with you and 50% of the people are against you. Well, I've got one who's, I believe, very much with me, but the dog leash issue, city or county, must be abided by. And it appears that I'm at the 3rd level of a complaint being filed, and there's been a bit of a confrontation by the dog's owner, and it's going to have to be addressed. And Counselor, I don't know whether I address it as a magistrate or you address it with animal control, but I'll talk to you afterward, and
that's fine.
We'll make a decision how it's taken.
Yeah, when animal control have to file a complaint.
Running at large, they're the ones that, you know,
Yeah.
what side someone.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, the first time, a lot of times they'll give a warning, and then
Mm-hmm.
you know, they get a call back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we've got to follow through on that, friend or foe.
Okay.
We have an issue, Magistrate Bodner and I have talked briefly about it. There haven't been any follow-ups just recently. I did run into the Fire Chief Sexton out in the community the other day, but Danville is wanting to impose the cost of replacement hydrants all throughout my district and Bodner's district. That absolutely should not be part of an already costly circumstance in my community, in Magistrate Bodner's community. I have not heard anything recently. Counselor, have you been directly involved in this one?
Can you say again, please?
The Danville idea that they will transfer the cost of multi-thousand-dollar hydrants to the county.
I've heard the rumor or whatever, but someone's made me aware of it. But as far as anything else,
Well, I'll follow up with Chief Sexton and see what the status is, but there is a legal document out there.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
okay.
She's
I
going to give
remember
the
this
letter.
now. So I gave Chief Sexton the name of Nori Kearns. She's an attorney out of Harrodsburg, and she deals with a lot of, represents a lot of agencies such as like our districts and so forth. And she did send a letter to Danville saying that we will not, or they will not.
Good.
They will not be paying that.
Good.
I don't know if you want to read it, Charlie.
Yeah, I've got a letter here from Curran's Law Office. Nori has been retained to represent the Boyle County Fire Protection District. Recently, Andy Tompkins, utility manager for the city of Danville, has been conducting meetings with the county fire departments. In these meetings, Mr. Tompkins has stated that the county fire departments are going to be tasked with testing and maintaining fire hydrants in Boyle County. I reviewed this matter with Chief Sexton and am writing to inform the city that the Boyle County Fire Protection District will not assume responsibility for testing or maintaining the hydrants absent a showing of some legal authority that requires them to do so. So that is a letter that she wrote to Stephen Dexter, city
So
attorney.
we're waiting a response. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that on the record for both our communities. I am absolutely thrilled and feel honored that tomorrow during our KMCA proceedings, I've been asked by J.C. Young to be on a panel that will in turn be honoring Senator Amanda Bledsoe. So I really look forward to that. And she is more remarkable as a first-term member of the General Assembly than any others that I've worked with over literally a 50-year period. And by the way, I found out that she was not born when I first went to Frankfurt. When we adjourn, Judge, when I let myself open, when we adjourn, and I have one more item after this comment. When we adjourn, I would like to adjourn in honor of all American Medal of Honor recipients. Today is Medal of Honor Day, and I'd also like to include all who have served our great nation. And finally, I have a jail report. Magistrate Boner and I met on March 17 at 2 p.m. with Jailer Wofford and Deputy Jailer Holderman at the detention center. Our inmate count that day was 148 total. Boyle 60, Mercer 19, the state 64, and other counties 3. We're at total staffing at this point, 38 deputies and 1 is on military leave. We had a good briefing on the budget, and of course we had that opportunity today as well. And all of our deputies have been participating in training on dementia. Obviously we can understand that with the circumstance that happened here in the community. And for all first responders, it's being conducted through the Alzheimer Association. And we have talked about, just in very general terms, the future of construction and issues with the detention center. And I submit this for a motion that I would make that it be accepted.
All right, have a motion by Magistrate Ellis. Is there a second? Second by Magistrate Boner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Judge, that concludes my comments.
All right, thank you, Magistrate Ellis. Magistrate Boner?
Yeah, I was trying to look up a date. April the 11th is our glow-in-the-dark Easter egg hunt that we've planned. There's a lot going on that day. It starts at 7 p.m. We're going to have a little train, little tiny train of thing they can ride, and some animals there and some different things. So it's going to be fun. We're hoping to work out that the eggs will glow, because actually when the sun goes down, it's going to be kind of late. So we'll see. It'll be fun. They can take them home and glow.
That's right.
Appreciate J.J. Harris helping us with that, and we've got a new group that's active with us. The Bonner Scholars at Center College have come out and are trying to help us with our new 501c3 status, and helping us with events, and just lots of good things. So still continuing to grow that activity. Let's see, I have a report from Marshall Carrier. I'd asked him to update me on the Perryville Junction City Sanitary Sewer Rehab Project that we sent the $5 million to. And I still don't understand it. I need to talk to him a little bit about this, because there's 2 phases, and so I'm going to talk to him, but I'll come back with you with that, and I may forward that to Julie, you and Judge Bottom. And let's see, and just hug your family and friends, because you never know, be lifestyles. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, County Attorney?
Yes,
Oh, Barry, I thought I started with Barry. I'm sorry, with Jamie. I'm so
That's
sorry,
all-
Manager
that's all right.
Harmon.
That's okay.
Please excuse me.
Lady in pink.
Please forgive me.
I love you too.
Feelings are mutual.
You can overlook the people you love.
That's right.
You know they're gonna be there.
That's right. My apologies, Manager Harmon.
Like to recognize one of our county employees that, just to give you information, I hired him in as a deputy at Boyle County Detention Center, and he was all the way up to the position of captain, which is right under the chief deputy, and he has since resigned and now has entered into the academy at Richmond and be working for our sheriff.
Yeah.
And I think it's a win-win. That's always been in his heart.
Yep.
To do law enforcement, which jail was, but pretty soon you deal with all the same customers, day by day by day. It's like being a lawyer.
Kind of in his blood, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Somewhere down, some fellow named Walter.
Yep.
Walter Clem.
Down the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some good lawyer joke about the customers in the jail.
Yeah. But Cameron was an excellent employee from day one all the way through, and I know he'll be excellent for our sheriff's office. And I know someone will straighten him out quick.
Yep. That's right. 2 doors down.
2 doors down.
That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Manager Harmon. All right. Now, County Attorney. Sorry about that.
April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and yesterday CASA out in Weisiger Park planted, and I participated in that as well, pinwheels to draw awareness to the children who have been affected by dependency, abuse, and neglect here in Boyle County. And I did a little research yesterday, and in Kentucky, 12 out of every 1,000 children are affected by abuse or maltreatment. And unfortunately, Kentucky is above the national average for that. We don't want that.
Yeah.
We want to get low.
We want to get down.
But CASA, I mean, I think they're a great organization that helps to be a voice for these children and hopefully prevents abuse again or neglect of the children that they have to be the voice for. So it was pretty nice yesterday to be able to plant those pinwheels and meet several people out there. My mom was there too, so it was neat. And also CASA, again, they have their big fundraiser, and it's out at Warrenwood April 11th. It's the Casa Gala, Derby Gala, and I've gone to it about every year. Great event that raises money to train the volunteers for CASA. So I would encourage, if you have not received an invitation, contact me and I'll make sure you get one. And that is all I have.
Okay, CASA will be here next meeting to present a proclamation. So.
Good.
Ms. Julie?
Just a few things. The judge referred earlier that we met with the jail staff and went over the budget. They recommended, the staff did, that we have some kind of workshop pretty soon to kind of talk about where we're headed with the jail, what's it going to look like with the smaller bed count. So we'll try to get some dates to you. I think we want to do that pretty soon. Also, again, we'll work on getting a workshop together with AOC and the architects and the engineers. Good news on the Paravel water drainage grant. We have been assigned an engineer. We have been approved to change the scope. So we're not going to trench all along Merchants Row and put a French drain in. We're not going to do that. We're going to try to stop the water at the top of the hill. And so UK has agreed to bring some cameras down and run it, because we don't know where the drains go. So that's kind of exciting.
Is the mayor in the loop on that?
Probably not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
But
he will be.
Once we know when they're coming and everything, yes. And then the other thing is we're continuing to work on bidding out various parts and pieces of the government service center. And we sort of advised Mark to, let's get the cost for everything that's left, and then we'll come back with what money we need to finish out that project. So we're kind of...
We'd like him to submit a list of everything that we know is going to be a cost to get it renovated and everything, and then just present that all at one time to you all, and then you all can approve the transfer to pay for them.
Yeah, we were like, it makes more sense to know what it's going to cost and not just kind of estimate.
Yeah.
So
instead of just coming and saying, well, we think 500,000 will do it. Well, let's get the real cost, and then it'd be more transparent that way. So,
yeah, that's all I got.
Good. Okay. All right. Okay. So, in your packet, you also have the EMS run report, medical service revenue report that Mike submitted. Today, Morning Point of Danville is having their 25th anniversary celebration. It will be held from 2 to 4 at 1181 Ben Ali Drive. So if you'd like to go out there, they'll have a brief ceremony, refreshments, and tours will be provided. I said Morning Point, and that is not right.
I was going to say, I was like, man, I think Morning Point. Man, time is flying.
McDowell. Sorry, Steve, I told you Morning Point. It is McDowell Place. I apologize. Here's the brochure. I'll just pass it around. Y'all look at it.
I think we got it. Yeah, we got it. We got it.
All right. Also, next week we'll have budget meetings on April the 2nd and 3rd, so just be prepared for full days on those 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be going to conference tonight, tomorrow night, and Thursday. Just remember to bring shoes. If you haven't done that, we were supposed to get out a flyer for that, but I'll take responsibility for that not happening. Just too many other things got in the way, and we did not get that done. So just, if you can bring shoes, bring shoes. Also, we want to wish Steve a happy birthday tomorrow. So I think he's going to be 29. Yeah, so. And then the last thing I want to bring to your all's attention is that back in January and February, there was a couple of bills in your all's packet for Humane Society, and they were $5,000 a piece. They were for medication for the animals that are under our care on the animal control ACO side. Those probably should have been brought to you all first. I authorized them in good faith just to get them paid. We had a request for help with medicine, and we put money in the budget, but we didn't really put a line item for that. So I just want you all to know that it wasn't anything that I was trying to do behind your back or anything.
Judge, that was in our financial report. Any of us who, peruse that closely enough should see it. I don't see it as being a big issue at all.
Okay.
I just think that, it was something, from my healthcare experience, it was medically necessary.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I'm glad it happened. If it was a miscue that you didn't tell us on the front end what it was.
Right.
So be it. I get up in the morning and I have one or two miscues before it.
Going forward, those types of things will be brought to your all's attention first, and let you all approve the payments and do that going forward. But I did want to, there was a question raised about it, so the person that raised the question is not here today, so but I did want to go ahead and let you all know ahead of time.
I heard about it, but we all...
Yeah. So just wanted you all to know that I did do that, but lesson learned, and that won't happen in the future. So, all right. With that being said, we need a motion to adjourn, and we want to include in that motion to adjourn in honor of all American Medal of Honor recipients. Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Magistrate Gay. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Magistrate Ellis. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
See you all.